Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, I'm standing by the River Thames, actually on a bridge that crosses it, and that is Big Ben. Big Ben's one of the most famous clock towers in the world. And it's monstrous in size. It's beautiful and grand in architecture. It actually keeps time. It's recently been re-cleaned and revamped by the British government. And you are probably saying, if you watch these regularly, Mark, what are you doing in front of Big Ben at the end of Feet Week? Because this is a week where I've been talking about biblical passages that deal with feet. Well, I think it's kind of obvious. Big Ben is an amazing feat in and of itself. Okay, it's a bad pun. It was either that or Parliament had to foot the bill for that cleanup of the tower. Either way, it actually fits one of my favorite passages about feet that I want to talk to you about today. And here's how. The passage comes in the New Testament, and it is the night that Jesus is going to be betrayed. And Jesus gathers with his followers, his apostles, and he has a very special dinner with them. And at that dinner, some of the apostles start fussing over which one is going to be more important in the work of Jesus. And it's kind of humorous and sad at the same time, as they are so typically human in their fussing over this. And in the process of fussing about it, while they're fussing, Jesus just quietly gets up and he goes and he gets a wash basin and a towel. And he comes over and he starts washing the feet of his followers. Now, washing the feet was something that was typically done back in that day, but it was done by the slave. It was done by the servant. It was done by the least, not the grand poobah, not the boss, not the head honcho. And for Jesus to take the menial role of servant while his followers are fussing over who gets to be his number 2 and number 3 man, is a layer not just of irony, but a layer of a parable that is made even more punchy, more strong, by the fact that this is really the last night that Jesus is going to spend with these very close followers before his crucifixion. You know, when you know your days are numbered, when you know your days are hours, you are very selective, I suspect, on how you spend them. And Jesus spent his not telling them a story, but illustrating to them a principle. And that is that our time on this earth is best spent not in trying to become the biggest, the best, the most famous, the most powerful, the most influential. Our time is best spent by being a servant to those around us. Jesus modeled this principle at a very critical time. So I stand in front of one of the world's most famous timepieces, but I'm also wearing a watch on my wrist, covered up, albeit by my sweater. There it is, a watch. And as we pull into this weekend, I urge you to think the following. I'm going to live deliberately and consciously with the recognition that my time is best spent serving others. One of my dear friends, a pastor at our church, Jared, almost all the time he meets with anybody, he ends the conversation with, "What can I do for you?" That type of a servant heart, I want to be my heart. So I ask you this weekend to go into the weekend with me, and let's commit together to asking that question, either out loud to others or to ourselves, as we interact with people. What can I do for you? How can I wash your feet? How can I serve you? That is a great way to go into the weekend, a great way to live your life, and that's why I make it your video thought for the day. See you Monday.